Over the last couple of years, we've seen a resurgence of the 3D platformer in big name titles as well as plenty of small ones, and there's a new one on the PS4 called Flynn and Freckles. But is this a perfect pirate plundering adventure, or is this game total booty? Flynn and Freckles is very much a 3D platformer. In fact, it reminded me a lot of the 3D platformers of the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube era. Games like Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex, Dr. Moto, or Haven Call of the King, with a little sprinkling of Pirate's Legend of Black Cat. In the game, you're taking the role of Flynn, who's setting off on an adventure to find the treasure, the golden banana of Captain Freckles. The game has a very colorful world and will remind you a little bit of Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, though not nearly as much charm. The game is much more of a linear 3D platformer than a collectathon. You're not going into an area and finding tons of little things to pick up. You're pretty much going through defeating enemies and going from dungeon to dungeon to get through the game's story. A lot of the areas and dungeons that you get to explore, including some of the puzzles, are at least nicely designed with some cool set pieces, but it's unfortunately ruined by the platforming. The reason for this is every time you land, you come to a dead stop, so your momentum is lost, so chaining jumps together is near impossible in the game. And to make matters worse, the game constantly ends up having some slowdown and frame rate issues that cause the platforming to be even more of a headache. And a lot of the issue with it would be alleviated if the game didn't have a health system. You have 5 hits, and when they run out, you end up getting a game over, setting you back a little bit. It's not much. Sometimes you have to redo things, sometimes you don't. It's kind of inconsistent. But because it's constantly caused by the game's problems, and there's also, for some reason, fall damage, I don't see really why they had to include this as well, these little things just make any little fun you're having completely negated. And I feel like the developers knew that the game had a few problems in the platforming department, as they included an assist option in the options menu. It just seems though that that's also broken, or it wasn't optimized, because a lot of times it ends up telling you to jump at the wrong times or wrong places and you end up losing health or dying. This is one of those games that once again is just disappointing because I wanted to love it. It has a colorful world, some cool characters, and I'm always excited to play a new 3D platformer because it brings back that nostalgia. I just need it to at least play better than some of the worst games of the PS2 era. From the technical side of things, like I mentioned before, there's just a lot of issues as far as the core mechanics go, but the game thankfully didn't crash on me during my gameplay. Flynn and Freckles is available now on the PS4 for $19.99, and it does feature a Platinum trophy. Overall, with a few minor fixes, Flynn and Freckles would be an okay 3D platformer, but it would still just be an okay one. The game is not very long, even with the collectibles like coins for some upgrades that you'll need to find, as well as totems to keep an eye out for. With everything said, I'm sure there will be some that end up enjoying Flynn and Freckles a lot more than I did, but for me, I'm going to be giving it a 4 out of 10. But anyway guys, I'm going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.